Slaughterhouse 5 is a story about Billy Pilgrim, a non-heroic man who becomes unstuck in time. Billy Pilgrim's life was told in the story in a non-timeline way. It goes back and forth in this story. Billy was born in 1922 in New York. Billy goes to college for a little bit until he gets drafted into the war. He gets shipped to a camp full of dying Russians, and which was where the next bombing was, and that killed 130,000 people that day. After the war, Billy returns to college and finishes up school. The owner of the college, Billy decides to get engaged with the owner's daughter of the school. When he does that, he'll be becoming into a family where he is rich and having money, which he did not have before. After they get engaged, Billy has a mental breakdown, which has him taken to the hospital. And then after he gets out of the hospital, they decide to get married and have children. Then years later, his own daughter is having her own wedding, and then during the wedding, Billy tells everyone that he was kidnapped by these aliens and taken to their planet Trandafador. And he says that time is different there. When he comes back, he suffers head injuries in a plane crash. And then later his wife dies. Billy claims to know how he will die later in the book. And then then U.S. splits into petty nations and is bombed. Billy is killed by a high-powered laser gun, and that is how he predicted it. This book was a dystopian novel because it talks about how the aliens had these different technologies that could destroy the world, and how they got him back to his planet without them knowing it, and him not losing time of his life because it has different time lengths. And then in the real world, it talks about how he can't get his story straight by saying, "So it goes." And he does this because he can't put all the pieces together to his war life. So I feel like some of the veterans here in the real world that has been to war can't remember how they were in war, so they get their stories mixed up in a little bit. And the conflict of the story was Billy Pilgrim and having trouble putting the pieces together of his war life. And one of it was, the reason why they said that was because he's always said, he would say, "So it goes," because he really doesn't remember that much. And I guess you can say that this was resolved because he finally dies at the end, but he really doesn't resolve it himself, but the world sees it resolved. And the most disturbing piece about this book is how he died at the end. I can't believe he died from a high-powered laser gun. That was really disturbing. That was Slaughterhouse 5.